Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
Joe Dale, you might have everybody at ASW South fooled, but I see right through you.
Bruiser Jacobs arrives in ASW South not looking to beat me, but to break me.
All year long, you've been living in a fairy tale. But tonight, the nightmare of Bruiser Jacobs is here.
For the first time in ASW South, I walk into that ring alone. No partner, no escape. Just me and an animal.
Joe Dale, your time has run out. Bruiser Jacobs has arrived at ASW South.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Aaron X. Welcome back to ASW South Winter Wonder Slam, and we are about to have the mammoth of all debuts here at ASW South in the form of Bruiser Jacobs. Bruiser Territory has arrived at ASW South. Debutant, an assassin of professional wrestling, and as you saw in that video packed by ANDMedia, Joe Dale is in for the fight of his life. And he's one bad man, ladies and gentlemen, on the professional wrestling landscape of Britain.
Once again, a one-fall match, ladies and gentlemen. Returning to the ring and back to do what he's sent to do, to maim, disfigure, and destroy. From Portsmouth, where all the real men come from. It's an all-star debut for Bruiser Jacobs.
Bruiser Jacobs.
And now, let's meet the other side.
Oh yes, indeed. The other side has got it all to do. Ladies and gentlemen, for many months, a lot of people have said, yeah, ASW South, it's good, but where's Bruiser Jacobs? Well, Bruiser Jacobs is here, and Bruiser Jacobs is about to be met at the front door by the biggest rising star in ASW South today. Ladies and gentlemen, not your average, a man driven by the fear of mediocrity, which is ironic when you consider that everything that he has done to this day just is the shining example of excellence. Joe Dale, ladies and gentlemen, undefeated and the finest product in many people's estimation of the ASW South Wrestling Academy. is now in the big leagues and has the biggest of tasks ahead of him here at Winter Wonder Slam 2. Not your average versus Bruiser Territory is about to go down. Go down, as always, in magnificent condition and ready for what will no question be the fight of his life.
This will be the toughest test so far for the ASW Wrestling South fastest rising star from Swindon. He's not your average Joe, he's Joe Dale.
Well, I've personally spent a lot of time alongside Joe Dale. I've trained alongside the man. I've worked alongside the man. This is professionalism personified. But Bruiser Jacobs is only professional in one aspect of professional wrestling, and that is his ability to absolutely massacre opponents. Do not sleep on Bruiser Jacobs. I'm sure Joe Dale certainly won't. The video package certainly suggested so. Roger Sears in charge of this palpable matchup between the Bruiser and Joe Dale, and a vicious shoulder tackle. Bruiser Jacobs, of course, not exactly a large amount of tape to scout on Joe Dale, and maybe that's going to be Joe Dale's advantage here, is his lack of experience. You'd think it would be completely the opposite, but ultimately Bruiser Jacobs may not necessarily know that much about Joe Dale, and that means Joe Dale has an opportunity potentially to catch Bruiser Jacobs unaware. Goes for the sweep and walks right into a shoulder tackle once again. And I don't think standing up to Bruiser Jacobs is going to get it done. This is a master of high-impact smash-mouth offense as the headlock is applied once again with ferocity by Bruiser Jacobs. Joe Dale backing him up into the rope, sends him off. Going to trip him up on the way in. Beautiful leapfrog by Joe Dale to the forward to the dance, looking for a hip toss. Bruiser Jacobs puts the brakes on, front face lock, and is now driven back into the corner. Is Joe Dale at a knife edge chop like a broadside cannon off the bow. Well, it ain't Pirates of the Caribbean, ladies and gentlemen, but Bruiser Jacobs is more than happy to launch a boarding party on the chest of Joe Dale, who escapes lovely arm drag there by Joe Dale, and now a hip toss, which he was looking for earlier, delivered with aplomb. There is absolutely no denying the athleticism, as you saw there. Beautiful standing drop kick by Joe Dale. Ducks the clothesline, looking for the springboard cross body. Can get all of it, got enough of it though. Not even a one count, I don't think. Bruiser was out. And now Joe Dale with a level of ferocity. This is exactly what Joe Dale needs to do as he clotheslines Bruiser to the outside. He's taking the fight to him. He's not hesitating. He has an opportunity here with Bruiser on the ropes. Joe Dale, you think about everything that he's done in his meteoric rise in the last year in professional wrestling. And Joe Dale walked in the door at ASW South 2 years ago. He seemed like such a lovely, unassuming individual, but he certainly, from that first session, proved himself to be nothing but excellent. There is nothing average about Joe Dale. There's nothing average about a cannonball from the Bruiser Jacobs right in the corner, crushing Joe Dale in the corner of the ring, and garners a 2 count. And check out the cross cam on that. Beautiful athleticism from a man who very much enjoys keeping it on the ground for the most part. But ladies and gentlemen, Bruiser Jacobs is every bit the hybrid athlete that you would fear. Jesus, hellfire. Violent forearm shot right across the spine of Joe Dale. Now just choking the life out of Not Your Average on the ropes, using all of his body weight. Bruiser Jacobs very, very aware of the professional wrestling rules, and do not be fooled by this cerebral assassin of the game that is Bruiser Jacobs. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a high IQ professional wrestler, and Joe Dale recognizes that as a very intelligent man himself, but he's cut off at the pass once again. And Bruiser Jacobs doing what he does best, grounding, pounding, methodically dissecting his individuals as he is doing so here to Joe Dale. Vicious Irish whip into the corner, and the buckle was unforgiving. Bruiser Jacobs in a real foul mood. And, well, frankly, I mean, that is an optimal position for Bruiser Jacobs to take. The only time he is enjoying himself is when he's severely maiming people, and no doubt will have enjoyed that knife-edge chop. Joe Dale, you can see the smile now, a wry smile from Bruiser Jacobs. This is what he's made his career on. This is what he has made a living on, destroying and dismantling, and he's doing so to Joe Dale, and another knife-edge chop, and Joe Dale's not going to have any skin left by the end of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Frankly, he'll be lucky if he could stand the way Bruiser Jacobs is cooking here. Big wind up, and Joe Dale had a chance to escape, and has a chance to light up the Bruiser himself with those shots to the midsection. And, oh man, well, Bruiser Jacobs just cut him off at the pass once again. Clothesline out of the corner. Crowd desperately trying to rally Joe Dale back into this fire. Bruiser Jacobs does not care one lick what these people think of a stiff uppercut right to the chops. No, it didn't. A simple and succinct message. Look at the face of the Bruiser. This is one enraged individual, ladies and gentlemen. Bruiser Jacobs now wearing down Joe Dale. Stiff right hand once again. There's a real somber tone here, ladies and gentlemen, not just in the commentary position, but also in the arena as well. And a vicious knife-edge chop. And, well, Joe Dale, this is exactly what we feared Joe Dale might run into. We know about the heart, the desire. He's picked up some incredible wins over the likes of Brandon Lee, Lucian Phillips, and of course, even the blockbusters in tag team action alongside his long-time friend and tag team partner, training partner, Connor Vista, but this is an entirely different proposition. Bruiser Jacobs is, in my estimation, arguably the most underrated and most underappreciated wrestler in the entire wrestling landscape, and maybe that's why he's in such a foul mood all the time, because ultimately he believes he deserves more. Well, this is the place to get more in professional wrestling, and Bruiser looks to have put Joe Dale completely to sleep, and if the arm falls down for Fred, oh, look out. Oh, there's still plenty of fighting, not your average Joe Dale, not even allowing a third opportunity of the arm on the second opportunity, showing that fight, that heart, that desire that brought him to the dance, that made him such a hot prospect, which makes him the breakout star of 2025, and a jawbreaker as well will certainly help matters just that little bit more. Right hand, left hand, right hand. Joe Dale just throwing everything he has at Bruiser Jacobs' Irish whip, and he walks right into a kick to the chest, but he ducks the clothesline, and now a double clothesline as both men collide in the middle of the ring. Both men were thinking the same thing. The cross cam delivering the goods as always. A vicious double clothesline. The sheer ferocity and collision of two fantastic professional wrestlers at the top of their game. Now, Bruiser Jacobs has recognized, and now a forearm strike to Joe Dale. Roars back with a right hand, and oh man, I think Bruiser Jacobs is aroused by the prospect of more violence, and a stiff right hand again from Joe Dale, and another wry smile from Bruiser Jacobs, who enjoys the opportunity to light somebody up. And now Joe Dale not even given the opportunity, and a rake of the eyes. Bruiser Jacobs not above breaking the law to benefit himself. Oh no, look out, look out. Oh, forget about it. If he hits this, it'll be over, and a back body drop. And obviously Joe Dale has done the scouting report and recognized the threat that was the finisher of Bruiser Jacobs, the Bruiser Bomb. Gets his foot up as Bruiser Jacobs is absolutely relentless in his pursuit of Joe Dale. Leapfrog over the top, and a clothesline by Joe Dale, now looking to build up a head of steam. Ducks the clothesline, does Bruiser Jacobs, but he can't avoid that beautiful patented leg lariat. Classic Joe Dale on display. Pinning combination, 2 count only. And now Bruiser Jacobs looking a little bit worse for wear after that lariat. And Joe Dale, but you can see the absolute devastation of what Bruiser Jacobs has done done to Joe Dale, excuse me, because Joe Dale struggling just to get back to his feet, even though he's in the ascendancy. That is the sheer level of degradation that Bruiser Jacobs brings to this fight. Back suplex into the Uranagi. Beautiful combination offense by Joe Dale. Takes a while to hook the leg, but he does so, and maybe that hesitation was enough for Bruiser Jacobs to get his shoulder off the canvas. We will never, ever know. This crowd still trying to rally behind Joe Dale. Joe Dale says up top, a place that he's very comfortable at, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Joe Dale, so well-rounded. Some might say the Cedric Peeling of professional wrestling. Get that reference? Well, extra points to you, I guess. Joe Dale up to the top, looking for a big old frog smash. Nobody home. Crash and burn. Bruiser Jacobs moves out of the way, and that is bad news for Joe Dale. Look out, because it's time for a Bruiser bomb. Beautifully connected, and oh my God, Joe Dale just kicked out a Bruiser bomb. And I was about to mention Bruiser Jacobs, a very lackadaisical pin. I get that that's his finisher, but there was absolutely no hook of the legs or the arms. Look at this on the cross cam. Absolute raw power, animalistic ferocity from Bruiser Jacobs. He decides, you know what? To hell with it. Back to the well for the second time. Oh, if he hits this, it will be game over. Joe Dale somehow able to escape. Hooks the arms, and Joe Dale has absolutely stolen it again, ladies and gentlemen. Bruiser Jacobs' glorious debut in ASW South has been upended by the sheer electricity and never say die attitude of not your average Joe Dale. That's 3 on the bounce, and surely now we can put to bed this argument that Joe Dale is a lucky wrestler, a fluke wrestler. Dreams very much still alive here at ASW South. Joe Dale proving everybody wrong. He is indeed the real deal. Take a bow, not your average Joe Dale. 3 on the back. Whoa, oh my God! Oh, good God! Well, Bruiser Jacobs just clarted Joe Dale in the face with a steel chair, and is now choking the life out of him. Oh, thank God. Connor Vista, Joe Dale's tag partner, is out here. But that is a pretty nasty and frankly scumbag move for Bruiser Jacobs. Not that he cares about my opinion. And Connor Vista coming down to save Joe Dale, but unfortunately the damage has been done. Well, that is a nasty collision. You see on the cross cam, that chair right across the skull, and Joe Dale is going to need medical attention, and thank God Connor Vista was here, or things could have got much worse.
Joe Dale.